Hi guys, this is Basically of Tech, and I'm right here to teach you guys introduction to HTML. So this is a beginner crash course that I've created for people who are trying to learn about web development or people who are trying to transition into tech. So first thing first, I want you guys to just take a seat, take a cool chip, and just relax and enjoy this lecture. So before we begin, we are just going to take a brief moment of all this course entails. So at first, this is a crash course for beginners. You don't need to have much knowledge about the web, just little knowledge about the web, because I believe everyone taking this course would make use of the web and has been making use of the web. The next thing that I expect us to learn in this course again is the HTML5 tags, and we are going to learn few CSS knowledge. Then just relax and enjoy this lecture. So what do we need to get started with this course? First of all, we need a text editor. What are text editors? A type of program for editing plain text files. That's just the layman language that everyone will understand. Just what? A type of program for editing plain text files. So we have different type of text editors which are being used for writing HTML language, and we have Sublime Text, pretty popular, a popular text editor. We have the Atom ID, very fantastic, and preferably the best, I do call it Visual Studio Code, VS Code. Preferably best by every developer, web developer, a pro software engineer. That's what mostly you see people using. We have brackets and a notepad that automatically follows every PC, mostly HP system and theirs. So another knowledge I want us to know about is the web browser. The web browser we're going to be using in this course is Chrome and Firefox, and we're also going to install some extensions on our VS Code. So before I dive in, I want you guys to just have a brief information of what HTML is. HTML is a markup language and not a programming language, because there have been a lot of misconception that HTML is a programming language. Everything that involves programming is what involves logic. That's why HTML is not a programming language. It doesn't involve logic. So we see HTML as a markup language. So, and it also entails the body structure of the web. Take a look at the web as a human being. What forms that particular thing that you are seeing is the HTML code. Without the HTML code, you won't be able to see the functionalities, right? You won't be able to move around on the web and see information. So that's the function of HTML code. We have opening tags and closing tags in HTML. So look at this particular place and right here, there are different. These have a closing tag and these have an opening tag. So you have to take note of that when writing your HTML language. Another thing they're going to look at is attribute. Attribute is special word used in a tag. They are special word used in a tag to specify additional information to tag. We have colors, we have the alignment, we have the borders, a lot of attributes. And HTML files are always saved in .html or .html. Those are the extensions in which you save HTML code. We're going to practice that and understand how that works in this lecture. So before we dive in, I want you guys to just take a look at the structure of HTML document. This is the basic structure of HTML document. We have the doc type, we have the HTML opening and closing tag, we have the head tag, we have the title tag, we have the body tag. But take a look here. Every information contained within the head tag are not visible on the web. Every information contained within this head tag are not visible on the web. The only information visible on the web are information within the body tag. So every information within this body tag is what is visible on the web. We are going to check this in the practice and observe how it works. So first thing first, I want you guys to have a good PC, a reliable PC, and also strong internet connection for this course. So let me dive in right to this place. So first thing first, I want us to install the Visual Studio Code on our system. So every system, we're going to install the word Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to open this and install the Visual Studio Code on my PC. Don't worry if you're not able to source around on the internet to get Visual Code. I'll include the link to the download of VS Code. So everything you're not able to get, I'm going to include the link in the description below. My internet service is very slow here. So first thing first is to go to vscode.com, VS Code, or just type VS Code download, VS Code download. So it takes me automatically to visualstudio.com. So it's opening. So if you're on Windows, you download this. If you're on a Mac, you download this, and if you're using Linux, you download any of this. So if you're using Linux, the Mac, and the Windows, you are good to go with this particular text editor. So pretty good. If you've downloaded this right away, you've started your journey into tech. Before I forget, we are going to look at different semantic tags in HTML, and I'm going to explain how the web works. So you're gonna have a prerequisite of how the web works, how we've been using the web for minimum time, just like this. It's a process of how I requested for this particular web address, and also performing a function by downloading here. So we're gonna see how the web works. So first thing first, right away, let me teach how the web works. How the web works. So we are going to see how the web works. So whenever we request for information on the web, you type the URL just like this. Every URL have a protocol, also have a subdomain, a domain, and a top level domain name. So for example, we have the protocol, right? HTTP /www.google.com. So whenever you input this, we have both the client and the server side. So look at this particular information. The exchange of information is request response loop, in the essence that the server will send, the client will send a request to the server, and the server is going to respond back to the client by sourcing out that information that the client as requested for. So we have to take note of that to understand how the web works. So as a beginner, you might be confused on how this works. So this particular image, I'm going to include it in the slide of the course and drop a download link so that everybody watching this video will be able to understand how the web works. So right now, let's dive in. So first thing first, we are going to open our Visual Studio Code. I already have mine installed on my PC. So I'm going to install my Visual Studio Code. Open my Visual Studio Code. So open your Visual Studio Code. Open up my PC already. Next thing I want you guys to do right now is to install some valuable extensions. So we are going to install some valuable extensions on our VS Code. So the first extension I want to install is the Prettier extension. So I'm going to search for Prettier extension. So Prettier code formatter. So this is the extension I am on my system. Look at this extension downloaded by over 60 million people. More than 60 million people have installed this extension, and it's a very good extension which we are going to be using. So the next extension I want us to install again after the Prettier. So you just install. If you've not installed, it will show it here installed. So you installed yours. So the next extension I want us to see is Live Server. And the purpose of this Live Server is for allow us to run our code without going to refresh our browser. So instead of us saving and going back to refresh our browser, the Live Server will save us the stress of going back to our web browser to refresh anytime we make changes to our text editor. So right now, look at it. So this is how the Live Server is by retweak day. Over more than 60 million downloads. So you install this also. So after installing that, the next thing I want us to do is to go to settings. So you go to settings, the settings right here. Then you go to settings, then open the settings. So the next thing I want us to do right now is just to make some inner settings. So the first thing you are going to look for is come to this search bar and search for default formatter. Default format or formatter, anyone. So when you look at this, we're going to look at this place, this particular place, default formatter, and you choose Prettier code formatter. You look at it here. Mine is checked already, so I picked it already, so that's why it's still there. So after that, you are going to choose that, and after that, we are going to search for format on save. So we are going to search in this particular place for formats on save. So and you checkmate this. Look at this. So checkmate it. Checkbox this particular listing. You put it on check. So after that, we are going to search for autofocus. And the purpose of this autofocus, I like it because most times whenever you forget or in case your system gets dead when you are trying to code, automatically that changes you've made, it's going to reflect, because once you are leaving this environment, it's going to show that it's going to save automatically, and you see the importance of this in our code. So look at this. So you put it on focus change. So you put it on focus, and right away we can now begin. So let me close this and show you guys a perfect way of starting. So the first thing we are going to do right away is to create a folder. So let's create a folder. So come to new and create a folder on your system. So I'm going to create this folder and name it HTML crash course. HTML crash course. HTML crash course. crash course. So inside this folder, I'm going to create an index.html file because that's the extension in which every HTML code must have. So I'm going to create index.html file. So I'm going to create here, come to text document and create the index.html file. Index.html file. Yes. So right away, I can open this in two ways, and by right clicking and opening with VS Code. If VS Code is already installed in your system, or any other text editor that can open HTML language. So the best way I like opening it is by opening the Visual Studio Code. Then after opening the Visual Studio Code, I'm going to go to File, Open Folder. So automatically it opens every folder. Then I'm going to come to desktop. This is my desktop. Look at it, this is my desktop. So I'm looking for what we saved it as. So this is my desktop. So I'm going to open this immediately. Select folder, introduction. So automatically it opened this for us. Wow. So these are course right away. So these are course. So these are course right away. So we are done with that. So right now let's get started. So if you could recollect, I'll show you guys how to get started with HTML, the basic structure. So right now we're going to look at that structure. The first thing we are going to do is open the tag, put the exclamation, and write doc type. Doc type HTML, doc type HTML. The HTML tag. We'll have the head tag. We have the title tag. So open the title tag, then put document in it. Then we'll come inside the head tag, we'll have the body tag. So put in the body tag, opening with the body tag, close. Automatically it suggests it for us. So you've seen that. So this is how the basic structure of the web look like. These are the basic structure of the web look like. So look at this, unless because it's on the PPT slide. So we are going to look at this and see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like here. Doc type HTML, the HTML, the head tag, and the word body tag. So take note of that. So the next thing I want us to move on is the fastest way of doing all this particular structure. So the first thing first you are going to do is by pressing Shift, press the exclamation, and press Tab. Automatically it suggests it for us. Automatically the Visual Studio Code suggests it for us. So right away we are now going to start writing our language, HTML markup language. So first thing first, I want us to change the structure, this title. So we are going to change this title to introduction to HTML. So we have the title tag. So first thing I want us to take note of is the H1 tag, the heading tag. And what's the function of the heading tag? The heading tags allows us to what? give information a particular importance. It allows us to what give information a particular importance that okay, this is the first heading a particular in a page. This is the important heading in a particular page. This is the second most important heading in what in a particular page. So we are going to see how the heading work. So we are going to see how the what heading tag work, the H1 to H6. So we only have H1 to what H6. Those are the tags that are being used from H1 to what H6. So the H1 to H6 tags are what only heading tag will have in what HTML. So they are the only heading tag will have what in HTML. So take note of that, and we're going to that. So the H1 to H6 tag is a tag that defines the header 1 to what header 6. So it defines the word header 1 to what header 6. The H1 tag is the tag that defines the word header tag to what header 6. The HTML tag is the tag which defines an HTML document. Is the tag which defines what an HTML document. This particular tag seen here, the HTML tag, this one is the one that defines the what HTML document. So the body tag defines the document body. So the body tag defines the word document body. That's why I said that every information in the body tag is what physical, what we can see. So the H1 tags define the word header 1 to what header 6 tag. So I'm going to start by writing a comment. So it's a good practice to always have comments in your code so that people who are reading the code, other developers can understand what you're writing. So the first thing first, you open the exclamation and double dash. So automatically the Visual Studio will suggest it for you once you press it this. So for people who don't understand, let me go all over again and show. You open a tag, the exclamation, and two dashes. Two dash. Automatically. So we are going to put here heading tag. Heading tag. H1 to H6. H6. So we are going to see the function of this heading tag. So you press H1, then press tab. H1, then press tab. So what I'm now going to do right now is to put in some content here. So the content we are going to look at is heading 1. We're going to write heading 1. So the next one we are going to look at is H2. And we're going to write heading 2. So the next one we are going to look at is what H3. H3. So we write heading 4. So the next tag we are going to look at is H5, H4. You press tab, heading 6. So the next tag we are going to look at is H5 and H6. So press H5, press tab. So the next tag that we're going to look at is H6, heading 6. Oh, I made a mistake in the 5, so let's put 5 here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 also 5. Let me put 5 here. 4. Oh, I made a mistake all the way from H3. So this is 4, and that is what 3. So it's perfect now. So I'm going to press Ctrl S and open it automatically on our browser. So you right click and you are going to see an option open with live server right away. Open with live server. So I'm opening with live server. It's opening right here. Look at, it's opening a port. So it's opening our live server. So we are going to see this particular thing, what we've written. We're going to see what we've written. So we're seeing it right now. We have a good look at this. There are difference between these two tags. This is what more bold than this and thick. This is what not as bold as this. And if you look at H2, is more bold than this and thicker than this. If you look at H3, this heading 3 is bigger than this and more bold. Look at this also, is bigger than this and more bold. And this also is bigger than this. So the least tag is what? Header tag. H6 is the least header tag. Head tag. H1. So the next tag I want us to look at is the word paragraph tag. So we are going to look at the paragraph tag. So the paragraph tag defines a paragraph. So just assume that you're writing an essay to be displayed on the web page, and you want to write a paragraph. So you will need what? A tag like what? A paragraph tag to put in those information. So that's why we have the P tag. So the P tag is the word paragraph tag. So I love using comments. So for us to understand better, I'm going to use another comment. I'm going to use the comment. So we are going to write paragraph tag. So we're going to write the P tag. And what I'm going to do, let's generate some random content here. So I'm going to write lorem and press tab. So I put in lorem and press tab. Create another paragraph tag. I put in lorem. Let's do lorem 10. Press tab. Let's do lorem 15. Lorem. Let's press, P tag. So I'm going to put lorem 15. Lorem 15. Oh, this doesn't work. Press Ctrl S, so it works now. So right now, let's click on our live server. Oh, our live server has stopped working. So let's open it on live server again. So our live server has stopped working. So let's open it on our live server again. So we look at it, look at the lorem. So you've seen it. This is the first paragraph, second paragraph, and third paragraph. So that's the function of the word P tag. So the next tag I want us to look at is the word break tag, the BL tag. The BL tag is used to break content that you don't want to be on just one straight line. You want to break content. So you insert the word break line tag. So this BL tag is what used to break long content into pieces. So let's assume that I want to break one of those words here. So let me use the BL tag here. BL, press tab, BL, press tab, and press Ctrl S, and come to our web browser. So we are going to see right now those words have been broken. So look at it. Look at the space given between them. But as you remove it, it goes back to the normal way of how it was before. So let's remove this and see. So we remove this, press Ctrl S, and look at it right away. So this is it. It shows back. So the next thing I want us to look at is let me just share this screen for user visibility and for us to understand more. So I want to share this screen. So I want to share this screen. So our screen is shared now. So I expect everyone watching this video to be able to see very well right now. So right now, the next tag I want us to see is the HR tag. So the HR tags are tags that are used to define a horizontal line. So this tag is used to define horizontal line in our code. So the first thing right now I want us to do is to create an horizontal line between these two pages. So let's create an horizontal after this first paragraph. This is the first paragraph, this is the second paragraph, and this is the third paragraph. So I'm going to create an horizontal after this first paragraph. So I'm going to put the HR tag, HR, and press tab. Press Ctrl S and look at it right by the side. So look at it. It creates a what? Horizontal line. But do you notice a difference when we use the HR tag and the what? BR tag? Those tags doesn't have what? Closing tag like this. It just shows the HR. They are just one opening tag. They don't have the word closing tag. The BR and the HR and meta tags. There are many tags. So as we move on in this lecture, we see most of those tags that doesn't have a word closing tag. So the next thing I want us to look at after this tag is the form tag. I want us to take a good look, relax, and take a chill pill and look at the form tag. So first thing first, I want us to see how to make your form. So I'm going to put a comment. Form practice. Form practice. Form practice. So right now I'm going to have the form tag. Open the form. No action here. Let me remove this action tag. So I'm going to remove this action tag and just leave this form because this is a beginner class. So the first thing I'm going to have right now is a label tag. Then I'm going to say label for first name. Let me name it F name. So we are going to say enter your name. Enter your name. So this is the label tag. So the next tag that we're going to have is the word input tag. The input tag. So I'm going to have the input tag. So input for what? Text. So I'm going to have name. So I have name. Name for what? For first name. F name. And we're going to have a placeholder. So let me put a placeholder. I'm going to say your first name. Your first name. Your first name. So you Ctrl S and see the result. So look at how it looks like. So you've seen this. This is the placeholder. So if we should remove this placeholder, you notice another difference. Ctrl S. So nothing is there. So the essence of this placeholder is just to give the user a prerequisite of what is essentially needed in that what input place, where the user can input his or her information. So what is needed. So most times it's a good practice to what include the word placeholder tag. So we are going to just put enter name, enter your name, enter your name, your first name, first name, first name. So the user will understand that he's entering his first name in this particular place, not his or her last name. So the next tag that I want to look at is we are going to create for some name, the last name. So we are going to name this for L name. So we are going to create this for L name. So we'll have the input tag, input. So input for text. I also have name of what? L name. So name this L name. I'm going to have a placeholder of what? Placeholder. Placeholder. Enter your last name. So, oh, I forgot to input in label here. So we are going to put enter last name. So the next tag we are going to look at is the text area tag. So we are going to look at the text area in case we want to involve large content. You want to get more information from the user. So we are going to use the word text area. I want us to look at that tag and see the usefulness of the tag. So let's create a BL tag here. Let me create a BL to break. So I'm now going to create label for comment. So I'm going to name this for comment, or information, more info. So I'm not enter your comment. Enter your comment. So we're going to have text area, press tab. So automatically for what? More info, and press Ctrl S. Live reload is not possible without body or head tag. I don't know why it's behaving like this. We have the head tag and body tag. So let me refresh it again. So you've seen it. So it shows here. So that's how it works. So the next tag that we're going to look at is most of the semantic tags being used in HTML. There are a lot of semantic tags used in HTML, and we're going to take a look at that. So the next tag I want us to take note of is some of the essential semantic tag. If we should look at right away, these particular tags are not all the tags in HTML. We've just done little tags in HTML. So the next tag I want us to look at is the image tag. So we are going to look at the image tag, img tag, and we have an attribute which requires us to put a value. We have the src attribute and we have the auth attribute. So this src attribute is telling us to put the address of the picture that we want to put on our web browser. While this auth attribute is essential for blind users. Just imagine a blind person using a particular web page and it can't see the picture. So it's through the help of the screen reader that a blind person can see this picture. So the auth attribute is essential for that. So first that I want us to do right now is to go to our Google. And search for random picture that is copyright free. So let's go to pixels.com. So here you can get free stocks of images and videos. So you are going to go to freestock.com and let's just search programming. So let's search for programming. So let's search for programming and let's just take a random picture here. Let's take a random picture. So let's take this, download this picture. So I'm going to download this particular image. So download. So it's download automatically. It's downloading at the bottom left corner. Of my screen. So I'm going to go open this showing folder. I'm going to open this, copy this image. So I'm going to copy this image. So I've copied this image and go to the particular place where we save our content, where we save our HTML doc. So I'm going to go there right now and insert it inside this folder. So let me paste the image here, Ctrl V right away. So I'll paste this image and let's rename this image. So let's rename this image, first image. Press enter. So I'm going to go back to my Visual Studio Code. Automatically it's going to show. So I will take note that that's shown. Look at it. It's going to show it. So right away, I want us to call this in this place. So I'm going to call this image. So we are going to call this image. So let's put our web browser by the side. So I'm going to call this image. So what am I going to do is by calling it first image. What is it saving? First image.jpg. First image.jpg. So I'm going to press Ctrl S. Let's refresh this. So scroll down and look at this image. So if you look at this image, it's more than the width of this container. So what we are going to do right now is to specify the width and height of this image. So I'm going to put a width of 500 pixels and height of 400 pixels. 500 pixels. So they will be equal. I'll press Ctrl S. So we've seen this image. Look at the image right away. So they are of the same height and of the same size. So this image is of what? Same height and what? Same size. So what we are going to include right now for the auth attribute is by including a particular information here for the blind user. So in case this image is not here, the auth attributes will be there. So let's now type a meaningful auth attribute in which anybody that is blind will be able to understand why surfing on this particular area. So we'll just have what? A picture of someone programming or any you can include any meaningful auth attribute in this particular place. So look at it. So we declared the width of what? 500 pixel and height of what? 500 pixel. So the next thing I want us to know is how to call this image to the address, because you have the absolute and the relative. So right now, let's go back to our web browser. Going back to this web browser, coming to this place, and we're going to search for, let's come to this place. Let's use another image. So let's use another image. So let's use this image. So I want to copy the address of this image. Copy image address. So I've copied the image by right clicking and copying the image address. So I'm going to go to this place. So I've Visual Studio Code. Create another image tag again. Image. And paste that particular address that I've copied right away. Ctrl V. Press Ctrl S. So I'm going to paste it. So let's look at our web browser and see if that image appears automatically. Yeah, it appeared. So let's give it a width of 400 and height of what? 400. So right here, I'm going to give it a width of what? 400 pixels and height of what? 400 pixels. So let's give it height of 400 pixels. 400. So right now, we've done the image tag. So we are going to look at the difference between these two SLCs. So this SLC and this particular SLC. This particular SLC, we downloaded the image, and this image is in our folder tag. It's in our folder. But this particular is not in our folder. We have to copy the word link address. So let's go to HelpDN docs. So I'm going to include this in the description. If you can't find it, I'm going to include this in the description of this video. So if you look at, we have the absolute URL in which we use to embed image. We also have the path. And there are two ways in which you can use reference that. So if you look at this place, this particular image is in the same directory, and that is the same as this. The image we have here is in the same directory as our what? Our folder. This first image.jpg is in the same directory as our what? Folder. Why this particular one is in another domain, another website. So we'll call this absolute and we'll call this reference. So let me put a comment so that you guys will be able to understand. So we are going to put the absolute reference, sorry, so people can understand this. We are going to call it relative part, relative part, relative part, and we're going to call the second one the absolute part. So it's good for developers to read the MDN docs because it adds useful documentation about HTML and CSS. Oh, I made a mistake here. Absolute LUT. So we have the relative and the absolute tab. But the other relative part, which is in different directory, this particular one is in different subdirectory. We are going to practice this. So let's assume that in this particular place, I create a folder of image. So let's create a folder of image, img. So I name this img and put the inside this particular folder. So let me push this image inside this folder. So this image is in the folder, and go back to our web page. Let's open our live server. Let me open our live server again so people can see. So if you look at that, image is no longer there. What we are always seeing is the auth attribute, a picture of someone programming, and that is because we've removed the parts in which the system, the HTML language you understand. So what we are going to do right now is to include that particular part. So let me erase this and include that part. And the way to include that part is by putting the dash line. I put image, first image. So you press S. Yep. So right now it has shown immediately. So you've seen it. So what we did is by putting the what period and slash what image, so it shows automatically. So that's the best practice of what including the what image tag. That is the what good practice of what including the what image tag. So the next tag they are going to look at is the list tag. So we are going to look at the list tag. So let's create the comment of list. The comment of list. So we are going to name list tag. So we have the opening tag and the close ordered list and unordered list. So we are going to look at the ordered list and see how the ordered list looks like on our PC. Let's create a breakout tag here to differentiate the log from our browser, so we won't make a mistake. It'll be here. So right here, we are going to begin. So we are going to look at the ordered list. So open the OL and press tab, then create UL by pressing tab. So let's name this rice. Let's name this rice. Create another UL, beans, and let's create another UL. Li, sorry, it was a mistake. So we're going to change all this to Li. So Li, rice, Li, beans. I'm going to change Li, egg, Li, Li, yam. So Control S, and let's scroll down. So you can see the ordered list. It gives us number automatically. It's numbered this accordingly. From the first, we have the rice, we have the beans, we have the egg, and the yam. So let's look at the other type of tag, which is called ordered list. So in creating an ordered list tag, we have to include UL. So type UL. So let me just create a P tag, a H1 tag here. So to differentiate, and name this on ordered list, on ordered list, on ordered list. So inside this UL, we are going to create an LI tag, LI. So let's name this phones. So let's name this Samsung, Samsung, LI. So iPhone. And the next one I want us to name is Techno. So the other LI I want us to create is LG. LG also have a phone. I press Ctrl S. So we are going to see the difference. So you can look at, we have Samsung, iPhone. It's just the bullet point. So they just create bullet point for us. It creates what? Bullet points for us. So this example of what? List tag. We have the unordered list and the what? Ordered list tag. So the next tag I want us to take a good look at is the table tag. The table tag is also a tag in which we use to create table in HTML. So let's give an heading of table practice, table practice. So right away, we're gonna press table and press tab. So every table tag have a what? Table role and TD. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a TR, and include some TDs. So I'll create another TR. So let's include some information here, TD. So let's give it different varieties of things, books, TD, shoes. So create another TD, cups. So let's come inside this TD, TD, laptop. So let's create another TD, television, and let's create another TD of USB, and save. So look at our table. So we have a table. For the best part of this, let's include a border to this table. So let's include a border to this table, border 2, and press Ctrl F. So conclude a border. I'm going to create a border for us. So you can see our table, it's having a word border around it. Than before, it was looking messy and not okay, right? But right now it's looking good. So if we remove the border, let's remove the border. You've seen it's looking messy. But let's put the border right away and include 2 as the border, or 1. So you've seen the border. That's how it works. So the next tag I want us to look at is semantic tag. So we've done pretty enough of the essential tags, and we are going to look at the semantic tag. So first thing first I want us to do is to create another index.html file. So I want us to create another index.html file right away from here. So let's create a new file here. So I'm going to name this blog.html, HTML, and press enter. So right away in this tag, I'm going to include automatically. I press tab. So in this tag, right away, I'm going to create a link tag here. So the anchor tag, that's also called a link tag. So this particular tag right now is to create link on a web page. So at first, let's go and copy this particular link of the MDN docs. So I'm on MDN docs website right away. So I'm going to copy this link. So I've copied this link. I'm going to paste it now what text editor in this place, in this HRF. So I'm going to paste this. So I'm going to put Ctrl V, and here I'm going to include some text and type link to MDN web doc website. So I don't know why my live server has been stopping. So we are going to see this particular text here. Link to what MDN web doc website. When I click this link, we are going to go to the website automatically. So you've seen it. When you go back, we are going to go back to our page where we create an introduction to what web development. So right now, I want us to be able to go to a different, to open another tab. So if you want this to open another tab, the best practice is by using the target blank. So we are going to just include the target blank by this side. So in this particular place, we're just going to include the target, and that target we're going to put underscore blank. So this is going to open another browser instead of opening that particular page on the web browser. And this is what we call the absolute. So we're going to press Ctrl S, press Ctrl S, and press Ctrl S, and open the live server. So when you look at, so let's go back to the link. Automatically it's opening. Look at it opens in another web. So look at it opens in another web. This is our particular page that we were working on before, and there's the new page. So if you go back to this place and remove this target blank, we are going to look at difference. So let's remove this target blank, save, and go back to our page. Let's go back to our web page. Let's go back to our web page. Let me cancel this and go to this particular place and open it. So it opens it on that particular web page. So we'll have to go back right now. So you've seen the difference between the target and the normal link. So right now, the next thing we are going to look at now are semantic tags in HTML. So right now, we're going to create some few things here to understand. So let's have an header tag at first. So I'm going to create an H1. So H1. So let's create an H1 and name this, and let's name this H1 blog website. So in this blog website, we're going to have an article. So we are going to have an article. So in this article, so let's create an article tag. First article. So in this article, we're going to have a p tag, and inside that p tag, we're going to have lorem. So press tab. So the next one again, we're going to have another article. We're going to have a p tag, and press lorem. Press tab. Ctrl S. So let's have another article tag. So we're going to have another article. We're going to have a p tag, lorem, tab. So let's look at this web browser. Let's look at this. So open the live server. So these are the information that we included on this web. So these are the information we included on this our web page. So right now, I want us to include some other few informations. I want us to include some other few informations to this particular web page. So let's copy this lorem and paste it three times inside this particular code. So Ctrl C, and let's paste it here 3 times. Ctrl V, Ctrl V. So let's paste here. Ctrl V, Ctrl V. So come here again. Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl S. So let's go back to our web page and see. Yeah, so this is enough. So what we're going to include is we're going to include a button. So let's include a button after every article. So let's create a button here. So button tag, button. So let's name this read more, read more, read more. So let's come again after this, a button, and name it read more, read more. So this is the button tag, and let's come to this place also and create a button of what, read more, and save. So let's go to our web browser and see. So we have a button immediately. So this is a button, this is a button, and this is a button. So let's add little styling, just a few CSS. We're not doing a lot of CSS. I said it's just few knowledge of CSS we are going to be practicing on this page. So we are looking at semantic tags. So this particular tag now has a meaning. So for us to understand, let's go to MDN docs. So let me open a new tab so we can understand semantic tag, MDN docs. So let's open. So look at it. Semantic doc tags. So we have different semantic tags. A lot of semantic tags. So you look at, we have the article that we used now. We have the header. We use the header. So we use 2 of those semantic tags. So you've seen that. So those are the semantic tags that we have. Then yeah. So I'll include the description for you to know also the semantics that are being used. So we use the article and the word header tag. So right now let's add styling to this particular place. So the first thing first I want us to do is to style the H1. To style up H1. To style the H1. So in this head tag, I'm going to create this title. After this title, I'm going to open a style. So let's put style. Press tab. So in this style, I'm going to put H header, curly brace. I'm going to put background color of black, Ctrl S. So let's go to our web browser. Everything is black on that particular place. So to make the text visible, because there's an H1 here, there's a H1 here. So to make the text visible, I'm going to put color of white. So our text right now will be visible. It's visible. So what I'm now going to do right now is to align our text. So I'm going to align this text. So let's do align text. Text align, sorry, text align. Center. So it moves automatically to the center. So it moves to the center, blog website. So right now, let's style our article. Let's style our articles. So let's have an article. Open curly brace, text align, center. So everything is going to be at the center. Everything is going to look compatible at the center. Every of our content is going to be at the center. So you've seen the difference. Everything is at the center. Everything is at the center here. Everything is at the center here. So let me add some little things to it. Padding. Let's add some padding. So padding of 20 pixels top and bottom, 30 pixels left and right. So let's look at that on our break. So we've added some padding. So if you look at, it gives some different listing. So let's style our button. So let our buttons be red. So we're gonna create some styling to the button. So we're gonna put button. Background color of aqua. This is aqua. So we have aqua for the styling of our button. So this is it. So what I want us to do right away is to include the link to this particular blog website we've created in our first listing. So to reference this, we're going to come to this place and create a link. So let's create a link above. Let's create a link above. Let's create a link above. So let's create a link here. So let's have the A tag. Because I said this A tag is for link. So to this, we're gonna put blog dot html. So we're gonna put link visit blog website and press Ctrl S. So once we go to this place, we're going to see it. So once we click here, it takes us to this website. So it opens this website for us. So let's include a good practice that we've also done. So it opens it on another tab. Let's include the target of what's blank. So it opens it on another tab. So we have the target underscore blank. Introduction to web development. And press Ctrl S. So let's include target blank here also. So target, no need. So let's just save and come back to our web browser. So let's click this. It opens another web browser, right? And let's go back. It takes us back to our what? Main page. So this is how it is. And I hope you guys understand everything we've done in this video. I want you guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up, and also share this particular video to every beginner who is trying to learn how to code. And watch out for more content on this channel. I'm going to show you guys a lot of things and sharing amazing things about web development on this channel, and also related things about tech. Thank you guys for watching this video.